through some procedures for taking apart and cleaning your grenade. Now, this grenade is apparently fully armed. It's got an end cap on. I hear BBs rattling it. To be honest, you really should be wearing goggles if you're handling a grenade that could be loaded. Even if you can't hear pellets rattling, it might be possible that one's still residing in the barrel and your grenade's pressurized. So as long as this end cap is on, you really should be wearing goggles. And if you're in the safe zone and manipulating grenades, protect other people and take this end cap off as soon as you can. So I'm going to pop the end cap off and first prove that the, I guess in firearms term, make safe. So first step, I like to dump the pellets out just so I don't have them rolling around all over the place. Next step is to check to see if the grenade is pressurized. You can use various little tools to press on that fill valve stem. Whoop, that is pressurized. I'm using a propane adapter. Oops. Actually, once you've got the end cap off, you can take your goggles off, unless you're managing many grenades. So you could vent the grenade by pressing a propane adapter into there, or you can use a pen, if you've got that. What you really don't want to do is go in with a screwdriver with like sharp metal corners and edges, because you might skive up the brass features inside that valve and drive metal chips in there. So a pen is not bad because it's ballpoint. I guess a fountain pen would be ruined, so don't use fountain pens. You can also use the tip of your grenade pin, but it wouldn't be very wise to pull the pin out of your grenade to vent your grenade. So if you have a pin from a grenade that you've already emptied, you can do that too. So vent the grenade. Takes a little while until it stops hissing, and then the grenade will be empty. When it's just barely hissing, you can move forward. So that's about empty. Oh, see, there's a pellet left. So even though I dumped all the pellets out, it still had one in there. So that's why it's important to keep your eye protection on, until you get the end cap off. So once that's been depressurized, it is safe to take the head off. Now, there's a good reason for not taking the heads off while the grenade's pressurized. If the grenade is pressurized and you pull that head off, this shuttle can get pushed this way, and it's partially retained, so it shouldn't come rocketing out of there. But really, you should still not be pulling these heads off with the grenade significantly pressurized. It was just a little bit of gas and it was still nice and cold, so it wasn't that pressurized. But depressurize your grenades before pulling this off, and even when you're taking this off, don't point it at your face when you take this off, on the very odd chance that the shuttle comes out. So that's depressurized. I got the head off. Next step I've got is to remove the shuttle. So. Okay, so we've got our grenade depressurized, we've got the head off, and now the next part is to get the shuttle out of the grenade body. I like to use a tool like a Sharpie, because they've got rounded corners, they're not sharp, and they're plastic, so they won't scratch up anything inside the grenade. So I like to make sure that the shuttle is just set roughly flush with the end here, and then I put the grenade down, the body down on a flat surface. Then I bear the pen against the fill valve, and then I press down firmly. Now you don't have to beat the crap out of it. Just set the pen and then press down firmly and persistently. And then that should push the shuttle past. There's a little retention groove inside of this grenade body, which the coupling locks into in the fuse head, and you need to push this past that retention groove, which is why it's handy to have something like a pen and a flat surface to push this down on. It's better to work on a clean surface than a sandy table at an outdoor field. So try to work on a clean surface and make sure your hands are clean, because the only reason you want to really pull this out is because it's leaking and you need to get some dirt out. So try not to introduce new dirt to it. So if you need to replace the seals on your shuttle because they appear nicked or damaged by sand, these seals are not difficult to remove. What I like to do is hold the shuttle in the web with my 2 fingers here, and I bare my thumb against the side there, and then I put the pad of my index finger, and I just use friction to lift up the loop on the seal, and then that can come out. You shouldn't go in there with little screwdrivers and digging that out, because a screwdriver can scratch up this surface on the shuttle, and it will leak forever. Once the shuttle's scratched, it's damaged. You have to replace that. So pulling O-rings off is not too big a deal. You pop those off, and you can pull them out of your maintenance kit and put new seals on if you need. Now, your maintenance kit will come with 2 different O-ring sizes, one smaller and one larger. Well, actually, no, I think we're shipping full shuttles, aren't we? Okay, well, if you decide to change the O-rings, do make sure that if you put the smaller O-ring on the smaller end of the shuttle, oops, and the larger O-ring on the larger end of the shuttle. So that's how you address the shuttle. The only reason you really need to pull this out is you might notice that there's some gas leaking past here. Like, you fill your grenade, you hear some hissing. I find it helps to put a little bit of water around the opening of your grenade so you can see where bubbles are coming from. Because if your fill valve's hissing, it sounds exactly the same as if this O-ring is hissing. So dabbing a little water around this opening, you can see if your leak is around this O-ring or around your fill valve. And if the leak is at your fill valve, it might be right through the center of the fill valve, which means the seal in there is not sealing, which can be fixed by jiggling it around while you're filling usually. Or if not, we may have to replace the valve for you. Or sometimes it's around the O-ring that the fill valve seals to the shuttle with. And if you see it leaking around there, you can usually just take a screwdriver and crank that a little bit tighter. So that's how you get the shuttle out. To get it in, it's basically the reverse. Put the shuttle into the passage body, small end down. You have to push it past a footing ring inside, settle it down. So. And then again, put the grenade inverted and just press down firmly with your Sharpie, and that's back on. One other thing you might face is if you fire your grenade without this end cap. Say you had no pellets in it and you just wanted to empty it quickly, so you triggered your end cap and just to dump this gas out. That rapid gas escape can actually strip this smaller O-ring off and actually just shoot your O-ring off into space. You're going to need a replacement O-ring because it's actually really hard to find these once the compressed gas is flung it across your field. So, but replacing is actually really easy. If the shuttle happens to be hanging out like that, you can actually just put it on without even removing the shuttle. So, try not to discharge your grenade without an end cap on. The end cap has features in it that retain that O-ring and prevent it from flying off. So if you take this end cap off, you'll lose that O-ring. So that's how you get into the passage body. Well, finally, if you every once in a while, if you want, before you assemble it, you can lubricate this grenade, and actually you should be doing this every other time you blow it up. Just push the shuttle all the way out, which means take your fuse head off after making sure it's depressurized. Just push the shuttle open like so, and then drip 2 drops of oil right into there, and then put the fuse head back on, down, and then settle that in. That's ready for another firing and another gassing. Personally, I prefer to use an oil pump to lubricate my gas, so I actually never have to do that. But not everybody has an oil pump, and some people might prefer to. Well, I don't know why. Just get an oil pump.